Okay, this is our second video for One Point Perspective, top view of a city. What I'm going to show you now is the bottoms of your buildings or your shapes, and we'll start with this building right here. Now, if we look at this building, the thing to remember is that whatever it does on the top, like making this L shape here, it has to do that on the bottom, and lines have to be parallel with each other. So here's how I do it. I back up from the vanishing point right about there, and I go, is the ruler parallel with this line right here? And yes, it is, and I draw that line. And then I look here and I go, okay, there's my other roof line that I need. So I need a base line there. So I move it up and I say, is my ruler parallel with the top of my building? And yes, it is. So I go ahead and draw that in. So there's my first shape. If you look, it's the red lines. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see this a little bit better. Right there should be pretty good. Now, we're going to do another easy one. That'd be this building right here. I'm going to go to the vanishing point and I'm going to slide my ruler up. And I'm going to ask, is my ruler parallel with just this line? And yes, it is. So I go ahead and I draw that in. All right, you see that? Now, I've got this line here for this shape. And I slide up from my vanishing point, match it up, and I say, is my ruler parallel with this line right here? Yes, it is. Now, if my ruler was like this, it would not be parallel with this line. They would meet. If it's like this, they would not be parallel. They would meet down here somewhere. So I want them parallel. I draw that in right there. Now we'll move around to our triangle here. Building, and I slide up. And this one's going to be tricky. I'm going to say, is this going to be parallel with my ruler? Yes, it is. Now this side here is what confuses a lot of people because there's a little sliver. So all I need to do is line my ruler up like this, slide it down till it meets my red line, and put it in right there. Now, probably the most difficult building to work with right now would be my L-shaped building because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges that I have to make bottoms for. So let's start with this one. So I go to my vanishing point and I slide out and I ask, is my ruler parallel with my line right here? And yes, it is. So I put that in. Now, I have to do this edge right here. So I take my ruler and I go up until I meet my red line. Now they're parallel, this one and this one. Now this is now back from my vanishing point. I slide it up till I meet the red line right there in the center. Is this ruler parallel with this edge? And yes, it is. So I put that in. Now, there's my vanishing point. One last edge. This edge needs a bottom. So I slide up. All right, now there's one more edge that we need to do, and that's this edge for this building. Now I can't put it lower than this line, so it's got to be back here somewhere. So it's this edge here, and this. All right, now the next thing we do as we start erasing everything below the red lines. So here we go. There we go. Now I erase these lines. Now you can erase your X, but you don't want to get rid of it completely, so make sure you know where it was. All right, and there are your buildings with the spaces right there. Now at this point, we're going to stop the video, and actually I'm going to zoom out first so you can get a good look at what we did. And there are your 7 buildings, and the ones that are facing the X right here all have their bottoms, including this background one. The next video will show you how to make streets and sidewalks.